So in this video, I'm gonna talk through what are all the costs associated with buying a house. And this can be misconstrued or misunderstood. And so I wanna make sure I set the table, make it clear, make it simple so that you know exactly what you're getting into before you buy. Everyone understands that there's a down payment, right? Absolutely, there is a down payment. That's all part of it. But there are other costs associated with the transaction when you're buying a home. So you have number one, your down payment. Number two is something called closing costs, and we'll break that down for you. The other thing is called a home inspection. Fourth thing is an appraisal. You get under contract, you've negotiated, you have your sales price, it's all figured out. What's the first thing that you need to do? Well, the first thing is called earnest money. Earnest money is 1% of the sales price. So let's just say it's a $500,000 home, 1% is $5,000. So what is earnest money? Well, earnest money is really just a dollar amount saying, hey, I'm serious about this house. And so once it comes under contract and you agree upon that, you're gonna first write a check. It's gonna be that $5,000. It's gonna go to the title company, and the title company is gonna hold that money throughout the remainder of the transaction. And that earnest money, what's great is that it's still your money. It's an initial deposit on the home, but it contributes toward your total down payment. Let's just say your total down payment is 5% down. Your down payment when it gets to the closing table is gonna be 5% down minus the earnest money that you already put forward up front. The next thing that's gonna happen in a transaction is called your home inspection. A home inspection is gonna be plus or minus about $600 depending on what you want covered as you're looking to buy this house. Now, this is technically optional. You don't have to do a home inspection, but it's absolutely in your best interest to do. And this is usually an out-of-pocket cost. So this is not something that you're gonna pay for at closing. It's not included in the fees that are charged at closing. This is something you just pay out of pocket with a debit or credit card or check or however you wanna make the payment to the third-party home inspection company. The next fee is going to be an appraisal. Appraisal is usually plus or minus $700 to $800 depending on the loan program. They wanna make sure that the home is worth what you're paying for, and they want to make sure it's worth what they're lending on. This is also a cost that is going to be just paid for with a debit card or credit card. You're going to pay for it out of pocket in the transaction. This fee will not be included at closing most of the time when it comes to buying a house. Now let's talk about your down payment and then something called closing costs. So your down payment is of course a percentage of the purchase price, which is already agreed upon in the very beginning. You know what that is before you ever make an offer on a house. That could be 3% down, might be a 0 down program, 30% down, whatever your specific situation is, that's your down payment. Now we have what's called your closing costs. Now your closing costs is all the costs that it takes to close the transaction. There's a title company involved, there's the lender that's involved, they have their own fees. If you're gonna what's called buy the interest rate down, you can pay money to get your interest rate lower, which is overall gonna lower your monthly mortgage payment. You can pay extra money, which gets added to your total closing costs. There's also other fees in there like a mobile notary that may be optional, but it's possible to be included in there. It could be things like credit reports. The big one is what's called escrow. Escrow is property taxes and your homeowner's insurance. These are two things that are required on every purchase. And your escrow is going to be a lump sum of money that's included in your total closing costs, where they're going to pre-collect a certain amount of months of property taxes and a certain amount of months of homeowner's insurance. This all gets included. Usually if it's a house that's between $400,000 to $500,000, your total closing costs that you should expect is going to be anywhere around $10,000. By the time we get to the closing table, you're going to be paying the remainder of your down payment plus your closing costs at closing to close on your transaction.